Welcome to Drysen Learns Things. Today I'm talking to Stephanie Harris from Headlight. Hello.
Hello, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Thanks for being here. We were talking in the pre-show just a little bit about the importance of building community, and through Headlight, you built an online virtual platform for events, basically. Give me a brief rundown on what it is and why it's important.
Yes, so nobody likes to be pitch slapped, right? It's super common, and 95% of your audience is really not ready to buy. So what if companies built spaces for people to build community and also have ongoing professional development? So I built a virtual events program for Headlight where we had our clients and our industry partners join on a monthly basis to share their work, talk about their expertise, whatever topic that they are experts in, whether that is incorporating drones for bridge inspections or a design bid build or design build rather project delivery method, which is a bit newer and requires a different process and different technology than historically. So to just talk about things that are really topical, really top of mind for the industry and share their expertise.
So let's talk a little bit about Headlight. What is it that Headlight does?
Yeah, great question. So Headlight is a construction tech firm. We take all of your organization's data and make it actionable, make it usable. So from pre-construction, taking pictures of your job site or what will be the job site, to inspecting as the construction is going and making sure it's built properly, to maintenance and contract administration. All of that information flows across that asset lifecycle, and Headlight just is the connector for all of that. It is a great resource and a centralized database, effectively, that you have to manage your assets.
I love it. I have a few months of construction, for like hospitals and stadiums and highway systems under my belt from a marketing perspective, and just seeing how much technology can kind of flow through there. It's a lot to keep track of. So it's really cool to like sit down and talk to you about this. What I'm curious about is having that hub, because this podcast does celebrate our marketing efforts and building that community when people, like you said, aren't quite ready to buy, but they have a place where they can go to have talk shop, have conversations. Have you noticed it having a positive impact on what Headlight's mission is?
Oh, absolutely. We invited customers from all different backgrounds, whether they were public or private sector. And it was, at in-person conferences, you have speaking opportunities. That's normal, typical, but it's harder because you have to travel, you have to take time off from work. But to do, a 30-minute virtual event is pretty straightforward. It helped build our own brand awareness. It helped drive deeper relationships with our customers and introduced us to new people too. So for the business and for our clients and our prospects, it's been super valuable. We see a ton of traffic to the website because of webinars and a lot of on-demand views too. So generally valuable across the board.
So I'm going to throw a little bit of a curveball at you here, because I just last week got back from an animation and motion design conference. Very similar, just in person, not virtual. And it's interesting because all the little side conversations and side ripples that happen from having a community, they have a bigger impact than I think what a lot of people will even consider as possible. So I'm going to throw this curveball at you right now. What are things that you didn't expect to happen that by doing this, you've seen come to light?
That is a great question. I learned so much through talking to some of the SMEs, the subject matter experts on specific topics. And I met a ton of people. I learned more about how governments might look for funding sources, how they recruit, how safety plays a part in general maintenance of highways and bridge systems. I learned a lot about, even small things that you may not think a lot about, like a ADA sidewalk ramp going from the sidewalk across the street. And I think an interesting outcome has been to see how our customers use the product and the things that they're really excited about. And it's helped also drive some of our product development roadmap. So it's just this big, like, kind of octopus. It's touching so many different departments, and so many different people and so many different teams. So I think that was, I mean, I suppose you know that will happen, right? But to see it actually in action was maybe a little bit more eye-opening.
Really cool to see it all come together.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. So what were the process and the steps you had to take to actually build and launch this thing?
Yeah, find a platform to host your video and your webinars on. I looked through and talked to a ton of customers and was just trying to suss out what's really important. Is it a project delivery method, and how does that impact you? What about labor? What about funding sources? What about the tools that your team uses? What about payments? How does that process work? How do you verify that a payment should be made? Recruiting people to speak, as you might know, can sometimes be a little bit challenging. You ask a lot of people, but when it all comes together, it's fantastic. I would give people kind of some pre-reads so that they could come prepared for what kind of questions that we might, or general topics that we'll cover, and then all sorts of promotional support too after the event and before. It's launching any sort of audio thing is a whole process.
And then all the touch points that have to go along with it.
Yeah.
So what I love about this is that's not your like a lot of people I have on the show will talk about a specific campaign. They're like, we did this Facebook ads, we did this over here. I love that this is not that, because it's very different. But I think having a community is much more powerful than any sort of advertising or just marketing in general you can have. So I'm curious, when this idea first sparked, and you're like, all right, I've got this idea, let's chase this thing. How confident were you? And you're like, we're gonna crush this and knock it out of the park.
Real confident. I was not super confident that the first couple would be, knock it out of the park. We have great registration and attendance numbers. But in a past role, I did something similar, built community around professional development, around training. It was a certification seminar, and I would host them monthly. They were covered in different topics, but it was super successful and a great way to keep conversations going with clients and to meet new people. So doing it in this company, I knew that it would work well. The audience is similar. And it's such a valuable thing to provide community and information that people are going to find useful and to build those relationships.
Absolutely. And then when you're the resource that everyone's coming to stay top of mind, it just makes those sales really, really easy for Headlight in the back end.
Yeah, it really helps drive that relationship forward, whether they refer you to someone or whether they become a client.
100%, I agree. I would much rather be a friend than just a number on the wall, 100%.
Yeah, we care about the company and our customers and what happens.
Yeah, absolutely. So if somebody wanted to find Headlight or the community itself, where can they go to find more information?
Yeah, we have a LinkedIn, Headlight, and then our website is just headlight.com.
Simple. Well, awesome. Yeah. Stephanie, thank you so much for being on the show today. I super appreciate your insight and your knowledge here. And for everyone else listening, thank you for tuning in, and we shall see you tomorrow. Drysen Learns Things is brought to you by the Discovery Workshop from Made by Things. If you are looking for a content partner to help you brainstorm, set goals, and create content that truly resonates with your audience, check us out at madebythings.com/discovery.